If you are a woman over 35 and you have tried every diet out there, I want you to know something. I was you. I battled my weight for over 20 years. Restrictive diets, hours at the gym, cutting out carbs, fat, counting calories. I tried it all just to be frustrated because nothing worked until I stopped fighting my body and I started understanding it. And now at 48, I feel better, I look better, I live better than I did in my 20s. So if you're watching this thinking, it is too late or that something is wrong with you, I am here to tell you it is not. And today I'm going to show you exactly why. By the way, this is what I help with the women inside my community every single day. I want to show you something. I am holding a brain right now, and I'm doing this on purpose because everything we are about to talk starts here. Not in your stomach, not in your plate, and for sure not on the treadmill. It starts here. And until we understand that connection, we will keep on doing all the right things and wondering why nothing is changing. Here is what I see every single day with the women I work with. High achieving, disciplined, consistent women who are doing everything they were told to do, and their bodies had just stopped responding. This is because what is really going on have very little to do with willpower and everything to do with what's going on inside them. Specifically, the relationship between your brain and your nervous system. When your body is under constant stress, and I'm not just talking about the obvious stress, I am talking about skipping meals, over exercising, under sleeping, overthinking, carrying the weight of everything and everyone around you. The brain reads all that as danger. And when your brain thinks you are in danger, it does something very specific. It activates your survival system. And cortisol has a very important job at that moment. And that is keep you alive. And the way it does that is by storing fat, especially around the midsection, around your organs where it can be accessed fast. By the way, this is not a design flaw of your body. This is your body doing exactly what it was built to do. The problem is your body cannot tell the difference between a real threat and a deadline, between a predator and a packed schedule. To your brain, stress is stress. And as long as it feels unsafe, it will hold on to fat. I had a client, let's call her Mary. When she came to me, she was working out 2 hours daily, every single day. Cardio in the morning, then gym at night. She was counting calories and eating the right thing. But instead of releasing weight, she felt more stuck than ever. She was exhausted. She was frustrated. And honestly, starting to believe that something was broken inside her. But when we look at what was actually happening, it made complete sense. The way she was moving, the way she was eating was not helping her body to feel safe. It was adding more stress on top of an already overwhelmed nervous system. Her cortisol was through the roof. Her body was in full survival mode, and no amount of extra cardio was going to change that. So this is exactly how I helped her. She stopped the 2-hour sessions. She shifted her movement. We supported her nutrition, and we worked on regulating her nervous system. And her body finally started to respond. And not because she did more, but because she finally gave permission to her body to feel safe. So how do we actually do this? How do we signal safety to the brain? And this is the part I love because it is not complicated, but it does require us to think differently about what healthy actually means. First, food is a safety signal. Every time you skip a meal, your brain registers that as a scarcity, as danger, and it ramps up cortisol to compensate. So one of the most powerful things you can do is eat consistently, especially protein. Let me tell you why. When you prioritize protein at every meal, You stabilize blood sugar. You blunt that cortisol spike and you tell your nervous system the environment is stable. We are not in danger. It is safe to release the stored energy. And this is exactly why I never tell my clients to eat less. I ask them to eat smarter, more protein, more consistency, no skipping meals, no cutting carbs, no cutting good fats. Because restriction is actually a stress signal. And you and I, we're done sending stress signals to our brain. Second, movement is a conversation with your nervous system. And not all movements are created equal. And this is where so many women are working against themselves without even knowing it. If you're doing hours of intense cardio every single day and your body is already stressed, you love are not helping it. Unfortunately, you are just adding more fuel to a fire that is really hot already. So there we have walking is one of the most underrated fat loss tools. It burns fat without spiking cortisol. It calms down your nervous system. It tells your brain you are safe, and also it helps you with your metabolism and even digestion. Strength training is super important as well because it protects your muscle, balances your hormones, and gives your body a reason to burn fat instead of storing it. So we go from punishing ourselves to smart movement. That is the shift. Third, nervous system regulation. This is no woohoo thing. This is biology. I want to say this clearly because I know some of you may hear nervous system regulation and think, that sounds a bit out there. It is not. It is pure science. And here is why it matters for your weight. When you are in a constant state of stress, your body is always reacting, always in fight or flight. And in that state, fat release is not a priority. Survival is. But when you finally learn how to shift out of that state, even for a few minutes a day, you are literally changing the chemical environment inside your body. And one of the most powerful ways to do this is also one of the simplest: your breath. When you, my love, breathe intentionally, inhaling through your nose, counting for 4, holding it for 4 or even 2, and then exhaling for 6, you activate your parasympathetic nervous system. And that is your rest and digest state. And that is the beautiful state where healing happens and also where fat gets released. When your body finally exhales and says, okay, we are safe, we can let go. But nervous system regulation goes beyond breathing. It is also about learning to listen to what your body is telling you, because your body is always communicating through cravings, through symptoms, through energy levels, through your mood. So next time you have a craving, instead of reacting, stop for a second and ask yourself, did I eat enough today? Do I'm very stressed out? Do I'm feeling sad? Do I'm feeling upset? Have I had enough water today? Am I overwhelmed right now? Why are you going to ask yourself these questions? Because most cravings are not hunger signals. They are your body asking for something it needs. Could be safety, could be nourishment, could be rest. And when you start to understand that language, you stop being at war with your body. And that is when everything changes. I want to be very real with you right now, because I know you look at me and you may think, well, it is easy for her. She looks like that. She must work out for hours. She must never have a treat or a glass of wine or enjoy a piece of cake. Let me tell you something. I do all of those things. It took me over 20 years to figure out what I'm sharing with you today. 20 years of diets that worked for a moment and then left me worse off than before. 20 long years of thinking that something was wrong with my body. And now at 48, I feel better and look better than I ever have. Not because I'm stricter, not because I do more, but because I finally stopped fighting my body and I start supporting it and work with it. I learned how to work with my biology instead of against it. And I have never looked back. And that is exactly why I do this work. Because I know what it feels like to be stuck, to be doing everything right and still not see results, to look in the mirror and not recognize yourself. I know how it feels to look at a dress and say, I would love to buy it, but I'm not going to look good in it. And I also know how it feels like when everything clicks, when your body starts working with you, when the weight finally starts to release, when your energy comes back, when you stop being scared of food and start enjoying your life again. That is what's possible for you. And I am right here to help you get started. I'm just going to ask you for one favor. If you feel like this video was helpful and you have a friend that you know she really needs to hear this too, please share it with her. That way we can help more women like you and I.